Hello friends, and welcome back to another video that is a little bit out of the ordinary of the usual paint and lore videos. That's the usual around here. But I am on an inspired tangent that cannot be held back. Now, if you watched the last video, you would be able to tell that I've been inspired by a lot of outside sources and outside medias recently. Well, always have, but I'm deciding to apply that to mini painting. I wanted to take one of my favorite art styles and try to apply that to mini painting, and I learned a lot. I thought that would be cool to share with you guys. You might be wondering why I'm over here yapping while I'm painting the Rhino from Marvel Crisis Protocol in different shades of teal. Now, the inspiration that I've really been going with is Frazetta. The man is truly one of the most amazing painters, I think. And here is some of the art that you could get to kind of get his vibe. I always wanted to try to paint in his style, because there's something, the richness of the colors and the depth of them and all the different tones just works so beautifully. And as I was doing my homework and studying his paintings, one that really caught my eye that I think would work for this is specifically this one, his Fire and Ice painting. Taking inspiration from this, something that really brings it all together in this way is underpainting. Something that a lot of oil painters do that isn't necessarily brought into mini painting too often, but it has such a cool effect. You can see if you look down in the skin tones at the bottom of the painting, there are these teals and turquoise colors that as the painting goes up, it goes into oranges with the highlights and reds. So that was the plan for today. I wanted to bring that underpainting to the Rhino. And at this point of the model, he looks absolutely insane. A bit like the Predator heat vision, thermal vision type of jam, but it'll all make sense very shortly, I promise. Now the trick is thin coats to let the paint show through. On some of this, the gray had pretty good coverage, or I wasn't thin enough on it, so I did mix a little bit of jade and turquoise into the gray a little bit too. As I'm going through this, I'm trying, how do you put this? I'm trying to get coverage, but I'm not so worried about completely covering this guy. For example, like I wouldn't want to airbrush this on. I want the imperfections. I want bits of the jade to pop out of the shadows and bits of the red to pop out of the most highlighted top areas, because that is going to give it this very painterly style. Because don't forget, my goal is to make this guy look like an oil painting. But aside from that, it is a relatively simple paint job. Well, luckily, because someone like the Rhino is just a giant man in a rhino suit, so it is a lot of gray, but the model is great. It actually has great definition, great details for being just a dude in a suit. MCP models are great. I'm very hyped on them. But here we're just blending it from a darker gray in the shadow areas up into a lighter neutral gray. But like I said, trying not to cover all of the underpainting. But you'll see what I mean as we go. I definitely want to cover it, but I don't want it to be completely opaque. I think that's the better way to put it. And around here, around this stage, you could see what I'm talking about. You could see in some of the crevices, hard to reach areas, there's bits of red and that sort of thing. I really love that sort of the tonal, I don't want to say imperfections because it makes it beautiful, I think. But the little spots where there's little colors from the underpaint shooting through, I think adds a lot to it. But yeah, simple enough. Went through this guy. The guy had great textures on him, so able to just slap on some lighter gray and then paint his little face at the end. Easy peasy. And with that, let's go to the spinny shots. Now, everybody, thank you for hanging out with me on yet another video. A bit of a different tutorial too, because underpainting is very basic to teach. It's you put paint under the model. More so, I wanted to give you an example and do my best attempt at a paint style I always wanted to try. Now, I don't know if I would say it really came off as Frank Frazetta, but I think it came out really cool. This is how I'm going to be painting all of my MCP guys. I decided I liked it that much. If you want to come hang out with me on Twitch and talk about superheroes and how cool they are, or well, I'm painting the Sinister Six recently, but if you want to talk about how cool they are, you can come hang out with me on Twitch at twitch.tv/drinkyourpaintwaterlive, where I stream at least 3 nights a week, and a link for all that will be in the description. And do not worry, if you want some lore, I will be coming in hot with some lore very, very shortly in the next video, because we got to do a Christmas episode. So then, I will see you in the next one.